The Steam Machine is days away. What's going on, everybody? It's Ed Savader here. So a new leak just dropped that pretty much lines up two huge dates for the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame. June 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific for the price reveal, and June 30th for when reservations open. Now, I want to be clear about this right away. Valve has not confirmed either of these dates, so treat this as a leak, not a fact. But if this is even close to right, then we are finally about to be done with the endless Steam Machine price guessing. And honestly, that is the part that I am waiting for. So today, guys, I am breaking down what we know about this leak, the 4 different Steam Machine versions coming at launch, the one detail that proves that scalpers are about to have a field day, and where I think this price actually lands. So the leak comes from a Steam database dive, where people found code for the Steam Machine reservation system. And that code shows something really interesting. There are not 1 or 2 Steam Machine versions coming at launch, there are 4, right? The leak references 4 Steam Machine packages based on what Valve has already shown. The most likely setup is 512 gigs with no controller, 512 gig with a Steam controller, 2 terabytes with no controller, and 2 terabytes with the Steam controller. That gives you a clean lineup, cheaper entry point, more expensive top-tier model, and a controller bundle option at both storage sizes, right? So the leak also says that reviewers and content creators may already have units. The Steam Machine package allegedly also includes the machine, the Steam controller depending on the bundle, and the mounting brackets. And there is also talk about separate faceplates, which pretty much lines up with the swappable faceplate ideas that Valve has already pointed at. And then there's that timeline, right? So price around June 23rd, reservation around June 30th. So this week stops being about random guessing and starts being more about watching Valve directly. Now here's what Valve has actually said. So the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame are shipping this summer. The verified program is being expanded to include both devices. SteamOS beta updates have been adding more Steam Machine support, and there has been a ton of backend movement around the Steam hardware. So a close launch makes sense. That does not lock in June 23rd or June 30th, but the direction is pretty obvious now. Valve is getting the software ready, the hardware looks like it's moving, and the one thing that we are still missing is the thing that everybody actually cares about, the price. Now, real quick, guys, if you guys like this kind of honest hardware leak breakdown, do me a favor and hit subscribe. Now, in a second, guys, I am going to tell you that one detail in this leak that I think is going to cause a real problem on reservation day, right? So stick around. Now, here it is, guys. So the leak says that the first wave of the Steam Machine reservation is only 20,000 units with a 1 per customer limit. And to even qualify for the reservation, you need to have made a purchase on Steam before April 27, 2026. Now let that sink in for a second, guys. If Valve really only has 20,000 units in this first wave, those reservations are going to disappear in minutes, maybe seconds, right? And you can already see what is going to happen on resale. Even with that 1 per customer limit and that April 27 cutoff to keep bots and scalpers out, there is just no way the 20,000 units cover that day 1 demand for this thing. So if you are serious about getting one, you pretty much need to do 2 things right now. Make sure that your Steam account had a purchase before April 27th, and be ready to refresh that page at the exact second reservations open on the 30th, because this thing is going to be a Steam Deck launch all over again, right? So this is where it gets interesting, guys. So I do not think that the Steam Machine is that cheap little $4.99 box that people are still hoping for, right? I would love to be wrong, but the leaks coming out are just not pointing in that direction at all. So the newest pricing leaks I have seen are pretty much putting that 512 gig version at around $700 and that 2 terabyte model at around $750. Now, an earlier guess from Moore's Law is Dead pretty much had it at around $600 to $650. So somewhere in that $600 to $750 zone is where most of that smart money is pretty much sitting right now. Now, that is better than my old guess, right? So I was pretty much leaning toward that $800 to $1,000 because of that Steam Deck OLED price increase and also those memory and storage cost rises, right? So if the leaks are correct here and that 512 gig really hits that $700, that is way more buyer-friendly than I actually expected. So maybe Valve actually surprises us with something even lower. Maybe they take a smaller margin to actually get the Steam Machine into more living rooms, but I am just not expecting that. So this is not a traditional console where the company pretty much eats a giant loss and then makes it back on subscriptions. So this is Valve pretty much selling a SteamOS living room PC, and that changes the math, right? So if reviews really do go live before reservations open, that is actually a good thing for buyers, because with this device, I do not want people buying it only on hype, right? I want to see real performance, what it does at 1080p, what it does at 1440p, how loud it gets, how warm it runs, how well sleep and resume work, and how clean the controller to TV experience actually feels. Because that is the whole pitch right here. So you pretty much sit down, you press a button, and you're in the game. Now, if Valve pretty much nails that, the Steam Machine becomes a way more interesting device, even if the price is higher than people actually wanted. But if the experience pretty much feels like a mini PC with extra steps, the price is going to hurt a lot more, I believe. Now, the Steam Frame is the other piece here, right? So if the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame launch close together, that would be a huge hardware moment for Valve. But I still think that the Steam Frame has the harder sales pitch. The Steam Machine is easy to understand. It is your Steam library on the TV. Now, the Steam Frame has to explain standalone VR, PC streaming, battery life, Android builds, Steam VR support, all of that, right? It might be more impressive technically, but the Steam Machine is the clearer product story. So my honest take is this, guys. I believe we are close. I do not know if these are the exact days, right? And I would not treat them as confirmed until Valve actually says something about this. But the timing lines up with way too many things right now. SteamOS updates, verified program updates, review unit rumors, reservation code in the Steam backend, and also Valve already saying summer, right? That is a lot of smoke. So if nothing actually happens around June 23rd, then we have to recalibrate there. But if the price reveal does hit, the June 30th reservation suddenly become more believable. And that is when the whole conversation actually flips from what do you think this will cost to are you actually going to buy one, right? So where are you guys at right now? Are you ready to reserve a Steam Machine if the price is around $700? Or are you waiting for reviews before you actually pull that trigger? And what is your personal cutoff price? Drop a comment below, guys, and let me know. If you like these kinds of Steam Machine and Steam Frame updates, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I am going to be watching that official Steam page and the review coverage all this week, right? And I will have another video the second the price drops. Now, for more handheld and gaming hardware coverage, check out savage.com. I'm Saavedra. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one.